where you try to push the Kennen and say, hey, Kennen, you're always going to just go get involved in the lane. That's fine, Zika. I don't care. I'm going to be off in a side lane pushing through towers. I agree, bro.
He's nearly 1 Q away from death, and Waybo have decided that Jiejie is going to be the response, looking for a dive here. The stun lands into the flag and drag. That was beautifully comboed. Viper flashes trying to find a trade, but it's a sick. And it's going to be so fun to watch these two go blow for blow as the series goes on. But for now, we have the Dragon being started here by Waybo. Piercing arrow from Viper. Not going to go for the steal, and it's just going to be secured by Jiejie. Poke damage comes out onto Elk out thanks to Erha's peel. And now Xiaohu and Jiejie, they're looking for the realm warp in. Shun is in the area, but this is a 4v3. And now a 4v2 is Viper and On are going to use the portal to get themselves all the way out. On gets knocked up and hit into the rune prism. But he still doesn't take enough damage. Finally, Elk will step up and find that second kill. Good little try there from On with the bard trickery, but it's mostly doing that through turret plates or maybe a creative dive here with cease and desist up. That cancel back might screw over Zika, but it's okay. Jiejie is here to cover. Weaver's Wall comes across, and hey, it's still a numbers advantage over BLG. There is the slicing maelstrom. The stuns land, but the seismic shove comes across first, and Knight's able to flash out despite the turret aggro. They won't find the second kill onto Jiejie, but the fact they're able to come away with a 1-0 dive. This was spotted by Waybo. They at least saw him take the skull. They have to think, all right, he could go after the grubs right after, but Jiejie instead clearing out some vision in the mid lane. They're going to catch On, trying to roam on over. Zenith Blade's going to bring Erha over the portal. He puts down the solar flare as well. On going to get rooted up thanks to Xiaohu, who should be able to find this very critical kill. I've even 2 versus 1. Very, very cautious. So they make it a 3v1. Yeah, good call there, Blocks. They're going to bring Knight right back on over. Zika's going to go into the lightning rush, get some move speed. Good dodge on that first Q, but it's the seismic shove of Knight that is the death warrant of Zika, no matter how much of a miss that was from Shun.
Yeah, I mean, we could say miss, we could say dodge. Either way, it's still just going to be the door slamming shut with Knight right there. And I really like what BLG are doing. They found a lane they could play through. They keep going for it. Erha looking to get aggressive. I wonder if you can wait a second. Yeah, for someone to go away.
Perfect time
Lovely.
from Erha. His Zenith Blades have been so on point. And who's going to be the real victor of it? Not just Waybo. More importantly, Xiaohu, who is now 2
towers. Unlock Bin to get himself into some other lanes and just keep the pressure on going.
Oh my god.
Elk.
He had no clue. He must have been sitting in that brush for nearly a minute, and Elk is going to burn his bear. Exactly how these two drafts we wanted to see them play out. It's a lot of turrets and, you know, void grubs and heralds here on the top side. Oh, hold on. This TP, oh man, Bin. No idea that both Erha and Jiejie are here. He flashes out of at least a solar flare, gets trapped in the cataclysm, but the turret's doing a lot of work here. Xiaohu down about half HP there to TP Zika in with the slicing maelstrom. 3 versus 1 wasn't good enough. 4 versus 1 will get the job done.
Yeah, just a little bit of a brain switched off moment
for
right
Waybo,
there.
Though, that conversation I was trying to have earlier about how the game's going well for both teams, and this Dragon take would be big. Tempered Fate from On, he's going to stall it out. Knight puts down the Weaver's Wall. Herald's in here, so Shun can get himself out, but can he win the 50-50? No! It's Elk that secures the Dragon. Shun goes in with a cease and desist, but he doesn't have any help. Xiaohu and Elk just turn it right back onto him. Through the portal goes Jiejie, maybe a bit too audaciously. He's going to flag and drag and flash himself back out. Zika eats a huge piercing arrow. Flashes forward coming across here from On. Gets the kill onto Jiejie. Slow starting to stack. Xiaohu has to run with the phase rush. And Viper can't get close enough for any of these big piercing arrows. And Waybo are able to get themselves
just
on.
Just a mistime smite is good from Elk to be able to grab it. The key thing here, though, is look at where Bin is. He is not in the fight at all. Look at where Bin is in our picture-in-picture. He's in the grey screen.
Yep. And this is really going to... But how many more members are behind Shun? That's the real question. Yep, it's everybody but Bin. Please don't fight over a red buff. All right, Erha wants to do it. He goes in, is going to get stunned up, chained up from Viper. The Tempered Fate lands on Xiaohu and Jiejie in the background. Good play there from On. Cease and Assist comes across into the seismic shove combo. Great little pick to find there by On. Does he go too far forward the portal? He runs into Elk, fully transcended, who gets the free hit on the Knight, but there isn't enough damage to make that a punish. Great find from On and BLG to clap right back.
You say great find, and I mean, they did capitalize well on what they were presented, but classic LPL moment right here from Waybo. Erha decides, yeah, we're going to go fight over the red buff. Now they're going to try to turn things around, and Bin, he should have known that something was coming. He's been here for so long.
I mean, yeah, he needs to understand that he is the clear only play left. All of BLG are on the top side. And that is one of the big problems we've had with some of Bin's gameplay this year, getting caught for very little. They know it's 4v5 before that TP can come across. At the very least, they're going to start up the Dragon. Bring the aggro on over. Jiejie, the king of steals, it feels like in this LPL split. Can he go for this one? Weaver's Wall's going to block him. They go after On instead. And Waybo, I think they're just going to sack this dragon. Jiejie goes for it, does not get it, and Peyz with his life. Too little, too late. Yeah, they don't have Zika's TP for the flank. He's going to try and walk his way in. They don't have a smite. They have to look for this fight over thanks to the resistance shred. Zika needs a big slicing maelstrom. He's going to try and go in, gets the flash, goes after Viper. Immediate cleanse. Viper is out. Baron secured for BLG as the fight begins to break out. Big piercing arrow onto Zika. Xiaohu trying to kite back. Elk needs to do a lot of heavy lifting here, but Zika's already down. Elk tries to go after Oppo, uses the blast cone to get himself back out. Erha's down. All of Elk's teammates are falling around him, and there's nothing he can do to clean it up. It's On fighting the multi-kill, and Bilibili Gaming breaking. There's no reason for Jiejie to throw his life away to try and get soul when they have so many more chances. It leads into the Baron, and now all of a sudden, BLG are up 6k gold and counting, knocking down turret after turret.
And that was a bad play from them, but it's even further than that. It's fighting around that red buff for no reason that initially snapped any control they had. Good dodge from Erha.
Yeah, he's going to bring the Solar Flare back out. Jiejie's going forward, but they've rooted up Elk, and they've trapped him. A beautiful Chains of Corruption. Viper says no need for your hyper carry. They do find a kill in the background. Erha very low as well, and it's Xiaohu going right after Viper. He gets the Rune Prism down. He has the Seraph Shield to find that turn. Waybo doing some heavy lifting without their AD carry, but now they're sectioned off 2 parts apiece. Jiejie going to do flag and drag, but Bin slams him down with the shovel, and he's going to hunt him down with the ghouls and the maiden. Bin's revenge saves a messy fight for Bilibili Gaming.
Oh my lord, we were talking so much praise right here for Elk, but that's now 2 team fights in a row that he's not able to have the impact that he needs, and that is going to be the base cracked on open. Another one of the goals we've talked about for BLG winning this game, who you put down early and then just are able to walk on over. This team can fight back, and BLG, they've
because my team is pushing the attack onto this Baron, and Waybo, I mean, they have an inkling.
Is it just gone?
But Jiejie doesn't get anywhere near this. The tempered fade from On is perfectly timed just in case there was any sort of 50-50. BLG are going to get this Baron. Waybo are going to make it a problem to try and get a fight on the backside, but it's a portal out from On, and BLG can just exit stage right. Waybo really sputtering to find any sort of play on the map. They're going to trade a Baron for a tier 1 turret mid lane.
Yeah, and I mean, they might get collapsed upon right here. Need to be careful to get away. They don't even pick themselves up this mid lane tier 1 tower. And Jun hunting, potentially looking to just press ulti and go flying in. Needs to be careful. Pretty squishy at the moment, although, of course, it does have the GA.
Yeah. You kind of throw caution to the wind when you pick up the GA. Still looking forward. Knight gets the Weaver's Wall down, but all the carries get on the right side of it. And we'll back up towards the base, but BLG, they are not letting off the gas. They're putting pedal to the metal as they'll finally look to try and knock down some inhibitors, and, well, they've got a wave aptly placed in the top side as well. Waybo will sack the mid lane inhibitor to try and protect these side turrets, but, again, they're going to stretch thin. Top turret is going to stay up, but bottom tier 3 goes down. Are they going to look for a play onto Bin? No, Zika doesn't even get close enough with that lightning rush. Waybo are just bleeding, and at some point, when are you going to fight back as that cornered animal?
Look at the poke coming through right here. Between Knight and Viper, they are constantly landing that poke.
They get onto Elp, and Zika goes forward with a huge slicing maelstrom. Viper has to cleanse, flash himself back out. The Cataclysm goes down, onto On. Zika finds that first kill, and now Elk can step up. He's starting to pump up the damage with his Transcendence. Shun goes into the stasis, but he is as good as dead. BLG, they poked the beast a little bit too much, and now Waybo are looking for more. There's the Realm War forward, but a huge piercing arrow from Viper makes it a problem. Jiejie gets the flag and drag. Bin knocked up. Elk finally joining the fight, trying to be the big damage, but Viper gets Xiaohu over the wall, and Bin flashes out to safety. Everybody overexerting themselves, but Waybo may have gotten themselves a lifeline in their own base.
Yeah, they're going to sprint on out. They're looking to pick themselves up this soul point. Still, look in their base right here. They've got super minions knocking on the doors. The TP, they're going to look to end.
TP coming across. That Spinny's going all the way after the base, and Viper stalling out all of Waybo. They gambled after the dragon, and they're going to trade soul for the game. Gigabit with the Giga.
Single game of Shen support during the regular season, so it wasn't completely unpicked at that point. Still, it's been a long time, I feel like, since the Shen support.
Yeah, Elk is flashless. He is in imminent danger, and we'll finally realize it when it becomes light. He's going to connect for the slow. Good cocoon there from Erha. Flash forward from On. He gets the top onto Erha. He goes into the repel, flashes away, but Shun follows the flash with his own. First blood is found, but here comes the cavalry. Jiejie, how do you find this cleanup? There's a lot of summoners down, but Elk can't really step up. The vision is really bad for him. He's going to jump right on top of Shun. Can't even find that trade kill. Another trunk clutch taunt from On, and they'll go 1 for 1. Elk tries to cleanse off some of the slows from this Ashe, but Viper follows forward, and Viper finds the 3rd kill. 2.5 minutes in, we have 4 deaths on the board.
The bottom lane has a lot more of the pressure alleviated, but as I say that, Jiejie is looking for a dive in revenge, but Xun is here to cover.
They don't know he's
Jiejie
here.
gets into the brush in time, but Xun, there he is. He went around to trick Jiejie. He's going to pounce on Viper, but he cleanses the stun. Oh, man. Xun and BLG are reading Waybo like a book right now.
That was really nice right there for Xun. Just knew that there was going to be more aggression down towards...
You caught me. I was not excited for this Ashe pickup. But hey, he's making it work. Oh my god, guys, there are other lanes on the map, Xun. Has this guy even finished his clear? I mean, who needs to clear camps when you're clearing out champions? Elk dies for a 2nd time. Xun has set up a permanent residence at this bot side.
And why not? At this point, you could just completely take over the game from there. Knight just about going to be able to flash away. Okay, that was a little bit risky right there. Xiaohu looking for a solo kill. And yeah, like you said, Slayer, there are other lanes on the map. Now, how much we get item, and Ashe who's ahead is just so oppressive. A single slow hits you, and kind of what do you do?
It's so hard. You really just can't walk it off. You have to use the net, the repel, but even that can't get you out of the spot. And I want to give more praise over to On for the Shen pick, but first we're going to have a mid lane appearance. Nice chains coming across from Knight here. Xiaohu doesn't even have a chance to flash away.
Yep.
If I keep saying talk about the Shen, will Xun just show up where I'm looking? Oh, there's the Ashe arrow. The ultimate advantage. Flash for flash. Erha gets away this time from the taunt. Jiejie's coming in with the Grand Starvable. Xun's already taken down Elk. Jiejie jumps on top of Viper. Erha can't even find that trade. Viper flashes away just in the nick of time. And now Jiejie has no chance to find that trade kill. Knight covers for Xiaohu trying to roam down to cover for this bottom lane. But it's a toxic wasteland for Waybo. They can't do anything right on this side of the map. And it's Xiaohu that has to use the Between Worlds to once again back away from bottom lane.
Still, you do use up enough.
The entire bot half of the map for Waybo. At what point? Well, they're not done fighting yet. They're like, okay, blue buff, that's okay. Gromp, we're going to make a stand here. Or are they? Because they know On's over the wall. They don't know where Viper is. They now finally mark Knight. The Gromp's going to reset. Xun goes forward with a little bit of a Wind Becomes Lightning combo, but just a little poking and prodding. We are really fighting all out on this Gromp. Viper gets the slow arrows onto Erha. He has to go up into the repel. He's going to come down the same spot. Crescent Guard going to come down from Xun. That means, no, Elk. You don't get to push any damage through. It's all for my Pookie Viper, who picks up one of the 2 kills as BLG continue the route.
And it should just be this Gromp going on over the final.
Why it's just so broken into that Caitlyn Elise, and so cool to see him understand the matchup that he's played so much. Oh, hey, Ultimate Chicken. I was waiting for it to make an appearance. Oh, it's not Ultimate Chicken. There's a top laner here. There's also a support coming, by the way. Here's On. Stand United. Hey, guys. Heard we wanted to 2v2 in this top side. And Erha thinking, all right, hold on. Support's got to be a part of this. I'm going to look for the dive. There's the cocoon landed. They're going to dive after On. He gets the taunt onto Erha. Zika flashes after Bin. Erha goes after him with the repel. They do get the kill onto On, and Jiejie's going to hop right on top of Bin.
They weren't able
Waybo
to turn around and then pick themselves up the objective. So BLG, they're going to be able to grab themselves up all 3 of these grubs as well. Oh, and maybe a kill too.
The Xun Masterclass seems to have no end in sight right now. Just a little bit too far away for get Zika with another Wind. You're just giving away health. Guys, can we pounce on him already? Oh my god, he hopped out of stun range, and now he got back under turret. Zika's going to go after him, slice and dice, goes into the Dominus, and this time we'll have enough health to get it done, but that was way closer than it needed to be. All right, Xun. Are we going to really test our power here? 1 versus 2. He's going to flash, the Wind Becomes Lightning. He goes right in after Zika. Crescent Guard, but he doesn't have enough damage to get Zika. Won't be able to find that trade kill. Still wants to go 1 versus 2, cycling the cooldowns.
He's got Knight.
Boy. Here comes the big bad Knight, and Stand United on. He's like, I'm here to take up tower for you guys. Down goes Zika, and Jiejie will be next to fall. It was all an elaborate ruse by Xun to get BLG the real trade.
We've been talking about how good it is when BLG have got Knight onto a heavy roaming champion. Well, the LeBlanc may not have a realm warp, but can certainly move around the map really well. And with On able to join them on any of these big fights, for Waybo, you have to just turn tail and run the second that you make a play. You don't have the luxury of making a good play and then sticking around for a while. You make a play, you get a kill, you get out instantly. bot lane might now be under threat as well.
This is Knight. He's going to TP right into a trap, into a cocoon. Hello, Knight! That was a very audacious TP. Ben's going to run down Elk. He's going to try and flash into the brush, but that brush has vision on it. Vipers come over from the mid lane. Ben with a big Gnar bar as TP's galore come out. Xiaohu has TP'd in from the minion wave as Jiejie shows up. Between worlds comes down. Xiaohu has to hop away. Only's going to flash, get the top down, and now Viper can let these arrows sing. Waybo, even when they feel like they have the punished BLG, it just feels like they're playing 6-on-5 right now.
Absolutely, the map is just so much smaller for Weibo, and Jiejie is also going to get tagged up by that Wind Becomes Lightning. Should just about be able to get himself under tower. Jun, though, he thinks he can keep going.
Oh my god, Shun! Turrets are just a little added speed bump in the way towards more kills. Erha's going to go down, and BLG are at an efficient kill a minute in this game, too.
And they can just keep the pace of this game high. Knight as well, taking a good chunk out of Zika. Does have himself the ultimate available, so should be able to keep stepping on forwards. Knight, bit of a weird TP down towards the bottom side of the map, but clearly not able to be punished by Weibo. Zika dead?
I mean, no, he's going to have to pop Dominus, but... I mean...
If Elk isn't there, I think he benefits that Viper has been able to have down in the bottom line 4-0-5 his score. Only a 500 gold lead, so Elk has done a really good job of keeping himself at least toe-to-toe, picking up a couple of kills, doing well in terms of CS. And a Caitlyn who's doming people can be something to try to play around. Same thing with Xiaohu, right? He still does a lot of damage, a lot of burst is available. If you could find...
he wants on this map, he is nearly perfect on the neutral objectives. He let one grub go to the wayside, but outside that, first two dragons are his, Rift Herald's his. BLG want to play through their lanes, but I'm glad that he's reminding everybody, and more importantly Weibo, that when he wants to, he can turn that star power on himself.
Yeah, I mean, why not, right? Show up in this situation. If you've got all of these great carries around you, well, sometimes you can just take it on.
Oh,
Boy, that is...
my god. All right. All right, Viper has aimbot. Riot, help.
What? Completely blind snipe. During draft phase, I said, hey, if Viper's feeling good, if he's got those snipes on right here, this Ashe can just completely take over a game through pick potential. Well, it hasn't needed to do it through pick potential previously. You could just walk at people and fight. But if you're also going to be landing enchanted crystal arrows like that, Weibo's options in this game are rapidly dwindling.
You know what? I don't know why I ever doubted my gun.
Then he's going to just not move. He then sees me fire the arrow. He thinks it's going to be straight at me. I'm going to move down. Okay.
Oh.
There's also this. This is the other problem that you have as Waybo in this game. Slayer. Slayer.
How do I commentate that, Blocks?
You don't. You don't. You just yell.
Oh, they're doing more. They're doing more. All right.
Oh
Crescent Guard forward from Shun, and that is Xiaohu using a defensive between worlds. On is in an audacious position himself, though. He does put up the no auto attack zone, dashes over the wall to safety, and Weibo still can't even
stand up to that level of damage.
Oh my god, Knight's setting a trap. They saw Xiaohu. They're going to use bin to bait in, like, oh, it's a 1v2, it's a 1v2. Psych, it's actually a 2v2, make it a 3v2. Oh my god, on. He doesn't even show up before Knight deletes Zika. And Xiaohu, well, he has to get one shot, but he gets cut down by Shun. Weibo, none of the map is theirs. Everywhere they go, BLG are waiting. And now they've started Baron on spawn. 5 versus 3. Jiejie, Erha, and Elk are going to have to find a way to walk in. Erha misses the flash cocoon on the bin, and Knight's over the wall. Oh my god, he's trying to delete Elk, but he gets spotted. Ace in the hole back over. Ben's going to block it, but remember, the Soul Lanes are just playing bodyguard because right now BLG are taking a 20-minute Baron. Ben will die to the burst from this trio out of Weibo. And Knight does an interesting distort. Oh no, they're going to go after him for that. His distort's on cooldown. All right, let's see how slippery this LeBlanc can be. There's the clone up. Knight's trying to trick them. He's going to distort away. Jiejie's going to flash after him, and Jiejie will find that shutdown. So Bilibili's Soul Laners do a little bit of griefing, but it is a Baron still for their squad.
Hey, Min dying there is absolutely fine. That body blocking was great from him. He just couldn't quite find an angle to go in with the Gnar, but still was absolutely fine. Knight, not entirely sure what he was doing, but I guess at this point in the game where you feel like a god and are invincible, it's worth having that notion knocked down just a little bit. Still, you're going to get away with 3 Baron buffs in inventory as BLG, and they're already out to a massive advantage off the back of that initial Baron take. Now looking to open up the base in the mid lane. Pretty close to doing so, although may just have to back away now as the remaining members of Weibo take it out top lane, take a reset, and now coming back out onto the map.
Shun and Viper slaying a beast for fun. And that's what they'll do. They'll get on to Ocean Soul Point at 22 minutes after taking the first Baron of the game at 21.5 minutes. And we are still on that blistering pace for BLG to take themselves a 2-0 lead. And at this point, viewers, just sit back, relax, and watch some sick Ash Arrows and Knight doing this. Yep, that's a half health Elise going bye-bye. Thanks,
Yeah,
Shadow
I mean,
Flame.
the Elise really has just not brought you anything so far in this game, and you have to imagine it's not going to be turned back on Bin, now potentially getting caught out on the side lane, although Bin, still in a relatively strong spot, will try to make his way back away, a hop away. He's getting his Narbar up.
I'm watching the Stand United cooldown. Oh, it's up in 10 seconds. I don't think... Oh, he goes Mega. Can he ult them off of him? Yes, he can. Does he have a hop in store? He has a slow. Oh, the Pierce of the Lance doesn't have enough damage. Bin just walks it out. He doesn't even need on.
Okay.
Because guess what On's doing? Yep.
Yeah, look at the rest of the map. That's going to be the bot lane tier 3 tower falling and the inhibitor soon to follow. The remaining members of Waybo trying desperately to defend their base, but they're now going to be contending with super minions pouring on in as well. And BLG, they aren't even done.
Grand Starfall, they're trying to make it a 5v4, but Shun covers enough for 3 men on his own. This Crescent Guard backs off all of Weibo, and he has the Jiejie's Knight, eviscerates Erha. Cover for the dive as well. On doesn't even die as Shun comes out. The Jiejie does get pop up between worlds, but it's too little, too late. Viper spaces beautifully with his flash, and Knight gets to clean up all the rest of the kills with his Gnar next to him. Ash Arrow just makes sure that Xiaohu has to burn his last dash cooldown, which will be his flash. And the mid laners will go blow for blow in the jungle for pride alone, because the headline here is BLG might have just had their most dominant game of 2026 to put themselves on series point with a date against Jiejie Gaming on the horizon. Again, Knight's going to have his way with getting easy splinter stacks on this Syndra, and then, I mean, blocks her Nefiri into Wukong. Wukong is very powerful, but...
For Erha, he's not going to be alone for any situations. Like you said during the draft, right, this should be very much getting poked out, pushed around right here in the bottom lane. The Yuumi really doesn't provide that much.
Ooh, nice exhaust onto Viper. Elk stepping forward, I guess, on Viper's melee range with Elk, and he's going to cut him down. First blood to Viper. Let Elk on Shun's gameplay. Now he doesn't have to worry about bottom lane. He can look for his own little trade. Jiejie, you just saw Knight off map. He roams right into it. Jiejie doesn't even flash. BLG are right back at it again. The full court press is dominating.
Yeah, I love the way you keep coming back. Had some very good 1v1 and 2v2 lanes for themselves previously. Elk and Erha have usually taken over lanes in the 2v2, but they're not winning them right now, and then even when they do, Jun gets involved.
Oh my god, it's a flash on to get the tether. Elk is dead again. Viper does not have mercy. All he's got is Mystic Shot.
JDG available to whoever's able to win this series. At the moment, looking like BLG are going to be able to 2-0 and up. Jun taking himself that first Drake, all of the bottom lane pressure, all of the mental state. What can you do to just shake off the previous game, get into this next one? And so far the answer doesn't really seem to have come to Weibo either. At this point, you can just keep the pressure up. Jun hunted forwards, pushing on ahead with this Nefiri. Nefiri got a buff to the passive this patch as well, so he's actually in a pretty strong spot.
God. Jiejie, I mean, it's coming from all sides. Daggers from the top side. True shot barrage right down Broad Street. And now the call of the pack comes out here from Shun. It forces out the exhaust from Erha just to try and protect Elk. But I'm going to quote myself again from game.
Booties in inventory for that extra level of survivability. Run back to lane, take that full tower potentially, and then just keep on going.
Oh my god. And Knight wanted in on the action, right?
You get a kill onto him, but getting kills onto Bin has not won you any of these games previously.
I mean, is this the game 2 script again? This is exactly what they did. They went 4-1 against Bin to try and dive him under the turret. It is going to work out, but I think Zika, all right, he gets the nice Cassante shield to get himself out. True shot barrage is a little bit too late. Weibo finally on the board. The perfect game is ruined.
Yep. But the win still very much in favor of BLG. 5
from the bottom lane goal difference.
I'm just waiting for this tower to go down to really see what it fully is. Yeah. It's a 3,000. Yeah, okay. It's going to be a 3,200 gold lead. It's going to be very close to 3,200.
Can Weibo do this? Are they going to let them?
Yeah. I mean, I think so.
I don't think they're going to let him.
Power top lane. Shun,
please don't steal it.
Oh my god, he steals it.
He steals it. Oh, Weibo, man.
It's a domination slayer.
I mean, I'm running out of adjectives to describe how one-sided this matchup is getting. That's the beat down the BLG are putting down right now. They've knocked out all the tier 1 turrets before 14 minutes, and they're taking over the jungle as well. Jiejie, that dash is pretty audacious. On gets the tether. They do go all out from Zika, but On flashes away from him, and the unleashed power sends Zika packing back to base. The jungle is not yours anymore, Jiejie. The lanes aren't. Nothing is, Waybo.
And that is going to be the 7,000 gold advantage. Even this Sun Disc going down into the mid lane is just barely.
But now we're into the point where Knight's going to side lane, so you can't put the Sivir up against the Syndra unless they lay a trap with Elk. He gets away from the Sky of the Week. Knight immediately burns the Ghost because he knows all of the Weibo armies coming after him. They use the Yuumi ult, a great flash. Shuriman Shuffle finally gets Weibo a positive play. They get the shutdown from Knight right onto Elk. There's something positive here of WBG.
They've got something. Certainly trying to make one so here is BLG. Mid lane tier 2 tower is just going to be taken out by the charge of the Rift Herald. I don't think anybody's going to ride the Rift Herald a second time towards tower. Probably just away. Yep. Oh no, actually is deciding to go
Look
on
at him
in.
weave.
They are.
Oh, on. All right, you know what? We got to give him some grief. Oh no, but the Scout of the Week from Knight, they don't even get the trade on to On. It's a beautiful usage of the orbs from the Syndra for Knight, and On's transgression. His driver's license may be revoked, but at least he has his own life thanks to his mid laner.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still going to claim that I was corrected that you shouldn't have gone in, but
you were.
On deciding to test the limits, and yeah, to be fair, he did not end up dying. So look at all the start of last split between On and Off. We weren't expecting this to just be complete domination from the bot lane of BLG, but that has been what skewed the whole rest of the map. Yeah, Knight's been playing well. Jun had an incredible game too, but the fact that
that has been the strongest gap for BLG, and this is the type of series you get with those other lanes going as expected. I mean, the Brigade forward continues. Hard to do anything. I guess it was the latter. Jiejie is trying to go for this deep flank onto the mid lane with On and Viper, but they'll just simply slide on over to the BLG strong side, which is Knight looking to solo out Zika. The all-out does get him enough damage away from the unleashed power, but the Scout of the Week is so precise here, and it's an unpowered arcane shift forward from Viper that gets himself a 5th kill. Waybo trying to collect back with a big flake from Jiejie, but another scatter is going to chunk Jiejie down to about half. He doesn't even get the Cyclone out. Knight cuts him down to size with 1 Q. Xiaohu doesn't even get to arrive to the party. Elk is getting body blocked here from Bin, and there's just nothing Weibo can do to break this titanic wall that is Bin and BLG behind him. Domination once again.
Absolutely shouldn't. Even just going to be pushing through the mid lane right now.
Knight showing off why a lot of these mid laners have been taking ghosts in these games, right? The fact he can just maneuver around this all in from Zika. Ooh, pick on to Knight himself from Jiejie. Here's a 400 HP shield here from On. I got you, buddy. And Viper will come in to finish off that kill. Jiejie down, and even if he was up, I think BLG go for this Baron. Now it's
the numbers to try. What can you throw over? One boomerang to try to steal this one away? I mean, maybe.
We're trying to circle on to BLG now. Xiaohu teleport off to the top side. They're going to try and go after Viper. Let's see how slippery he can be on this Ezreal, because Zika has him cornered. The all-out pulls Viper over the wall. He flashes back over, and Xiaohu will finally find that kill. They get rid of the big Viper, and it's Xiaohu that does pick up that second kill. They sacrifice Elk and Erha to do so, but for now, Waybo do stop the Baron play.
Yeah, and you wait long enough for Jiejie to be able to get back up and available and dissuade any
24-minute Mountain Soul.
Yeah, and I mean, what can you even slightly do about it? The Mountain Soul as well, I feel like it's one of the better souls you can get intervention right here for Waybo to be able to fight back in this one.
Oh boy, they're taking the Baron on one side. I thought they might look for a play there on to Elk, but Bin will just stand tall in the mid lane with about 10 bajillion HP. Now he's looking to turn with the Unstoppable Onslaught. The Baron's going to be picked up. Beautiful ult into the scatter combo. The Storm Surge gets the kill there down on to Jiejie. And now the slows are starting to stack. Elk pops the Ghost. The ultimate needs the final champ from the Yuumi, but the Scatter of the Week finds its mark again from Knight. And down goes Elk. Goodbye to your first team All-Pro 80 carry. But that was in the regular season. The postseason is a whole different beast. And Shun is ready to play in the playoffs for BLG. BLG, down goes Xiaohu, and it's the final march here for BLG. You look up the word domination in the dictionary, today you'll see a picture of BLG, the team set up to potentially be the big bad of the LPL international stage, just made a statement win, a statement sweep over Waybo Gaming to let not just the league, but the world know this is what the peak of Bilibili Gaming looks like in 2026. It's only a matter of kills to find as they knock down Zika, get rid of Jiejie, and find the kill onto Erha. The most dominating series of the playoffs belongs to BLG as they 3-0 to send Waybo down to the lower bracket and have a date with Jiejie.